The frontier planet Talveris had only two things going for it. The first was its mineral wealth. Beneath its rocky deserts and jagged mountains lay some of the richest iridium deposits ever discovered. The second was its wildlife. Unfortunately, the wildlife was also the reason most species avoided the planet entirely. Talveris was home to the Varkesh. No one in the galaxy laughed when that name came up. They were apex predators. Massive quadrupeds covered in armored scales, each one the size of a small ground vehicle. Their jaws could crush steel plating, their claws could carve through stone, and their speed across the desert was legendary. Entire survey teams had once vanished because they underestimated them, which was why the newly established human mining colony had very strict rules. Never approach a Varkesh, never provoke one. If you see cubs, leave immediately. Unfortunately for specialist Owen Carter, the universe had other plans. Owen wiped sweat from his forehead as the survey rover rolled slowly across Talveris' dusty plains. Twin suns burned overhead, painting the desert in shimmering gold and orange. Inside the rover were 4 members of the ICE Frontier Survey Unit. Captain Lena Ward, the calm and experienced mission leader. Engineer Raj Patel, who never stopped talking about machines. Biologist Dr. Suri Tanaka, who was fascinated by every alien creature she saw. And Owen, the colony's newest security specialist. Raj leaned over the console. Seismic scanner says the Iridium vein should be about 200 meters ahead. Lena nodded. Good. Mark it and we'll report back to the colony. Owen looked out the viewport. The desert seemed quiet, too quiet. Anyone else feel like we're being watched? He asked. Shuri smiled. That's because we probably are. Raj groaned. Please tell me you're joking. She pointed toward a cluster of rock formations ahead, thermal signatures. Small ones. Lena slowed the rover. How small? Suri checked her scanner. About this big. She held her hands apart, roughly the size of a large dog. Owen frowned. That sounds suspiciously like. Then something darted out from behind the rocks. Everyone froze. A small creature stood in the open desert. 4 legs, short armored tail, 2 curious glowing eyes. Owen whispered, please don't say it. Suri grinned. That's a Varkesh cub. Raj nearly choked. You mean the baby of the monster that can tear a rover apart? Exactly. Lena sighed. Everyone stay calm. We back up slowly. Then another cub appeared, and another, 3 total. They stared at the rover curiously. Owen looked toward the horizon. Where are the parents? No one answered. Because they were all thinking the same thing. The cubs approached the rover cautiously. They sniffed the air. Their armored tails wagged slightly. Suri whispered excitedly. Oh wow, they're curious. Raj looked horrified. They're apex predators! They're babies. Baby sharks are still sharks! One cub stepped closer to the rover. Then it noticed Owen standing outside beside the vehicle. Their eyes met. For a moment, the desert went silent. The cub crouched low. Raj gasped. Oh no. Suri whispered, it's preparing to. The cub suddenly charged straight toward Owen. Everyone inside the rover screamed at once. Owen, run! Owen froze. The cub sprinted faster and faster across the sand. Dust flew behind it. Its tiny claws kicked up sand as it rushed forward. This was it. Every survival instinct Owen had told him he was about to be attacked by an alien predator. The cub leaped and slammed directly into his leg. Then it rolled onto its back and began chewing his boot. Silence. Inside the rover. Raj blinked. What? Suri burst out laughing. The terrifying Varkesh cub, descendant of the galaxy's most feared desert predator, was happily gnawing on Owen's bootless like a puppy. Owen stared down at it. You have got to be kidding me. The cub wagged its armored tail. Within seconds, the entire team was laughing. Raj leaned against the console. "I thought we were about to witness a tragic death!" Suri wiped tears from her eyes. "It thinks you're a toy!" Owen sighed as the cub continued attacking his boot. "Can someone get this thing off me?" Another cub approached. It sniffed Owen. Then it licked his glove. The third cub climbed onto the rover's step and peeked inside. Raj froze. "It's looking at me." Suri laughed again. "Congratulations. You've been adopted." Owen tried gently nudging the cub away. It immediately ran back and pounced on his boot again. Captain Ward shook her head. "Record everything. No one will believe this." Suri activated her drone camera. "This is the first documented playful behavior in Varkesh cubs." The cub gnawed harder. Owen sighed. "I feel honored." Then the ground vibrated. Once. Twice. The laughter stopped instantly. Owen looked up. "That doesn't sound small." Suri checked her scanner. Her expression changed. "Oh," Raj swallowed. "Oh what?" She slowly turned the screen toward them. 4 massive heat signatures approaching, fast, very fast. "Parents," she said quietly. Owen looked down at the cub chewing his boot. "Well," he muttered, "this might be awkward." The adult Varkesh appeared over the dunes moments later. 4 massive predators, each one easily 4 meters long. Their armored plates shimmered like obsidian. Their glowing eyes locked onto the scene. The cubs chirped happily. One ran toward the adults. Another stayed chewing Owen's boot. The largest adult stepped forward, its gaze locked onto Owen. The entire team held their breath. Raj whispered, "Don't move." Owen didn't dare blink. The adult Varkesh approached slowly. Then it looked down at the cub gnawing on Owen's boot. The cub chirped proudly. The adult sniffed Owen's leg. Then something surprising happened. The creature made a deep rumbling sound. It almost sounded like amusement. Suri whispered, "Did the cub just show them its new toy?" Raj whispered back, "Owen is the toy." The cub rolled onto its back again. Still chewing, the adult Varkesh looked at Owen, then nudged the cub gently. The cub ignored it. Boot chewing continued, and for the first time in recorded history, a Varkesh adult made a sound that resembled a deep, rumbling chuckle. The adults settled nearby. They watched calmly as their cub played. Owen slowly crouched. "Okay, little guy," he said softly, "you win." He untied his bootlace. The cub immediately grabbed it and ran in circles proudly. Raj laughed again. "He stole your shoelace!" Suri was recording everything. "This is incredible." Captain Ward nodded slowly. "We may have just discovered something important." "What?" Raj asked. Ward smiled. "Even apex predators raise playful children." The cub returned and dropped the shoelace proudly. Then it nudged Owen's leg. Owen scratched behind its armored ear. The cub purred. The adult Varkesh watched silently. But they didn't attack. They didn't threaten. They simply observed. After a few minutes, the adults stood. The cubs followed them reluctantly. The playful one looked back at Owen. It chirped once, then ran after its family. The Varkesh disappeared over the dunes. The desert became quiet again. Inside the rover, Raj shook his head. "Well," he said, "that was the strangest near-death experience I've ever seen." Suri smiled. "We just witnessed the cutest predator encounter in the galaxy." Captain Ward looked at Owen. "You okay?" Owen held up his boot. Half the lace was gone. "Yeah," he said. "I think I just made a friend." The rover began heading back toward the colony. Behind them, far across the dunes, a small Varkesh cub proudly dragged a human shoelace through the sand. And somewhere deep in the alien desert, the most feared predators on Talveris had just learned something new. Humans weren't always enemies. Sometimes, they were just very entertaining toys.